What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Solemn Circus live video. Before we dive on in, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn a lot. On the left side here, we have Heroes going up against Memento on the right side. This is also going to be available in the POV, so if you guys want to be making sure to check out the live videos of this duel, you're able to hear what I say and what my opponent says as well, and see everything in real time rather than looking back and seeing what we could have done differently. Definitely two different versions of the deck. We are going to be seeing Heroes going to start off, with winning the die roll here, and going to be normal summoning like Stratos. Going to be activating the effect, letting them search for a Mally. This means that they have the Ferris in the hand, and we're going to be able to activate the effect, sending the Mally to summon out the Ferris here. Ferris can then put the increase in the spell and trap card zone. This is also a 55 card deck, so we are going to be playing a little bit more of those increases. I believe they're on double increase, which tends to be a little bit more popular. We are going to see the standard hero combo with increase going to be destroying the Ferris, summoning itself out, and then we are going to go Veiler on the increase. They do chain and mass change to this, summoning a Dark Claw, and this just absolutely shits on our deck. We cannot beat a Dark Claw. So if any hero players out there are watching and you're playing against Memento, make a Dark Claw and you just win the game. We're going to be seeing the Violin being summoned out here off that increase, and then we are going to activate the effect of dumping a Denier from the deck, and then we can banish the Ferris, search for a Polymerization. This is a very standard line. And we do search for the brand new alternate art Polymerization, and if you guys don't seen this card, it is absolutely gorgeous. It's a Polymerization that has the Elemental Hero Burst Tricks as well as Avion, I believe, and it looks incredible. It also has the OG Poly in the background. If you guys haven't seen those QCRs or even CRs, they look incredible. We're going to be seeing the Cross Crusader being made. Please, Konami, give this a holo, and then we're going to be summoning it out, activating the effect, and it's going to allow us to summon out or search out for one of the Neoses. We are going to activate Polymerization going up into the Infernal Rage, and it's going to let us search for the favorite contact here, and they're going to go full hero combo. We're then going to banish a Mally, summon on a Mally. We did put it back with the Denier, and then we're going to go up into the Wonder Driver here. We're going to activate the effect, allowing us to summon out the Sunrise. It's going to allow us to search for a Miracle Fusion, and we can then activate the Miracle Fusion if we want to. And that's going to let us summon out, right? Yeah, we're going to go Miracle Fusion here. And we are going to be banishing the Infernal Rage as well as the Neos to go up into Elemental. And then we're going to reset here the Miracle Fusion. And then we can go for Fusion Destiny there. And we can send to the graveyard. There's different ones we can go for the DP. We're going to send a Mally as well as the Plasma. I feel like there is a world, or we're going to go for the Shining Neos, okay. This is essentially just a version of a high, or Neos, or whatever, Honest here. We're going to go DPE effect, going to be destroying the Elemental Hero, or Wake Up Your Elemental Hero. I'm just going to summon out the copy of the Shadow Mist there. And then we're going to link those two away. We're going to set one just okay. Then we're going to pass turn. DP is going to come back during the standby phase, but we're not going to be able to beat this. This is going to be way too crazy for us to beat here. Dark Law, we'll take a second to read it because, we want to see what our opponent's kind of doing, as well as you want to make your opponent go full combo, see how well they do with the deck. We have lots of time. We are only 6 minutes in because this is almost 2 times the speed. But yeah, looking back at it, it's okay, well, I now know my opponent doesn't know the deck exactly in and out. They did think for a second when they were sending the Fusion Destiny. We see a little bit of a mistake trying to link away and stuff like that. So I now know exactly what they're playing. Someone was seeing what they can search for and stuff like that. And it kind of gives me a range of how my opponent is. And when you're in game 1 and you're just going to lose immediately, you also want to see your top deck, but you can't just pick it up if you want to when you just scoop the game. But also seeing your opponent's end board and what they're kind of going to go for tells you just gives you a better advantage. And they have no idea what we're playing at the moment. All they know is that this board we cannot break. So we do end up going into game 2. We are going to be choosing to go first. And yeah, Memento is a very hard deck to break, especially if you don't really know what the cards do and you don't know what you're playing against. A lot of the times, a lot of decks are going to be oh, well, what am I going to do against this? I'm going to put in some, generic going second cards and stuff like that. And with Memento, it's you don't really need those going second cards. You need the cards that interact exactly one for one, and you want to have to hit the exact cards you have to hit. But we are going to be diving into game 2 here. And we are going to be going first with a special note of the Tatsunushiku. Here we explain what the cards do. And at this point, it's just the Memento deck is so crazy. If you just don't know what the cards do, you're going to get overwhelmed by them and you're going to be hand-trapping the wrong cards, which is just very important. Because if you hand-trap the wrong cards, it's not going to make that much of a difference. And there are different cards you can hand trap. Like in this case here, we're going to be sending the Gatic as well as the Witch, and then like that's going to allow us to summon back out the Gatic. You don't normally do that there. So like, this is going to mean that we have most likely the Sleepy in the hand, or we have like something else that we kind of want to go for, like either the Goblin or the Mace already. So we're going to go activate the effect of normal summon of the Witch, which can activate its effects, allowing us to search for a copy of the Horned Dragon. So we do have the Sleepy in the hand already, which is why we can go for this different line here. Then we activate the Sleepy, summon itself out. That's going to activate the effect, allowing us to fuse. We just explain the cards here. You know, it is very accustomed to do explain the cards to your opponent, especially if they have so much card text like the Memento monsters do. We're going to go for Twin Dragon here. And like, if I look at Twin Dragon, this card has like 2 different effects, and we explain them. So it's like easy to explain. You know, it pops 1 and searches for 2. And then when it's destroyed, it summons 1 out from the graveyard. You know, just a way easier to explain. We do search for the Acheron here, as well as the Mace. And then we're going to be activating the effect of Gatic, dumping the Fusion. Again, another card that has multiple effects that are quite very good. Then you have like Acheron, which is like 3 effects, which is just absolutely nutty. But we kind of have to figure out like what are we facing against in the hero boards. Like most likely playing the Beers and stuff like that in the deck. But we don't exactly know where they're going to go for this. We go for the Fusion, destroying the Twin. That's going to allow us to search for the Field Spell here, interestingly enough. So another combo that we don't intend to do quite a bit. Then we're going to be seeing the Twin Dragon and activate the effect, summoning out the Anguish. The reason why we do this is because you can bring back out one of the Maces from the graveyard if we have maybe like the Fusion already in the hand, or a Bone Party being able to destroy the Acheron already in the hand. So we are going to summon out the Twin Dragon here, or the Horned Dragon here, linking up into a Cross Sheep. This is just going to allow us to summon back out the Anguish in the graveyard, essentially just giving us another body. Now, I don't exactly know why we do this. We can actually summon out the Mace if we want to here. So we're going to go Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. And then we're going to be summoning out the Mace, as well as destroying from the deck. And we don't need to send the Fusion monster, because we already have the Field Spell on the field, which is going to be quite nice, because we can keep it in the extra deck there, kind of giving us the advantage of throwing our opponent off, not knowing that's kind of how we search for the Field Spell. So we end up going for that, and then we go for the Bone Party, destroying the Acheron, and then we get to summon out. It doesn't really matter what we summon out here, so we're going to summon out just a Dark Blade, just so we have a different name. And then Acheron's going to activate the effect, allowing us to add back, and we can add back as well as summon back out the Gatic here. I believe we add back the Bone Party, but then we're going to activate the effect here of Mace, allowing us to search for the Trap card, and then the Acheron's going to summon itself out because it sees something destroyed, and then we just have like Infinity Bodies here. Now we should have summoned out the Sleepy in the graveyard instead of the Gatic. That was a misplay, because it would have been able to allow us to go up into the Herald there, which would have been a spell negate, which is very important against heroes. But instead we have to go for an engraver line, or we're going to go for an engraver line anyways, but instead we just keep a random body on the field, which we shouldn't have done. So definitely a misplay on our parts, but we end up going for a sequence here where we put back all 3, going for a Desiree. We're still going to have a pretty good board with the SP and stuff like that as well. Just like it's important to note that, you know, you can do this stuff. We do put the Desiree in defense position in case they are playing Lightning Storm. That card was pretty useful in the hero deck before, so just kind of important that we do note. And then, you know, if they do get rid of the stuff, sometimes we can just actually let our field entirely die and just keep the Desiree on the field, letting that Lightning Storm kind of just resolve, not matter that much here. We do put back 5, and that's going to allow us to summon out the Combined Creation in defense position. Yeah, in defense position here. Definitely in defense. If we're putting the Desiree in defense, we want to put the Combined Creation in defense as well. And then we're going to be setting the Fusion in the end phase with that Mentolian City. And we have 1 card left in the hand. So we have Bone Party, the Trap, as well as the Fusion. And then we also have like a Dark Blade, which can just pop numerous cards. Now you're like wondering, well, why is this board here? You know, we could have had a Herald as well. Herald and SP there. We wouldn't have the Dark Blade. That would have been a little bit of a better board, but this is still pretty good. We are explaining what the end board does kind of completely here. And yeah, so even if we do see the, you know, the Creation King being destroyed, we can go for a Twin Dragon, getting the effects as well here. But it's going to be very impossible for any deck to kind of beat this form of interruption there. We're going to go for an E-Call here. It's going to let us search our deck for any of the hero cards. And we don't care about this at all. We're going to let that resolve. I also think we have one hand trap in the hand as well. I forgot to mention which one it is. I think it's Valor, but still pretty good. We do see a Stratos being searched. And then we're going to go for the Cross Keeper, I believe its card is. This allows us to summon out a hero from our hand by discarding it. So then we can activate the Stratos effect, letting us search. And we are going to be summoning out the Ferris by discarding the Denier here. And with that, we're going to be activating the effect of the Ferris and to place the increase. And so what's actually really important about the increase is that if we do activate our trap, destroying the 2 cards now, they can just chain the increase because it is considered a trap card. So we have to do it in chain of the increase there. So we ask if it destroys for cost or tributes for cost, whatever it does. And it does tribute at the Ferris. We do chain the pop 2 here. And that's going to be destroying both of them. Now we're explaining how trap cards work, and it has to resolve correctly, and then it resolves there. So it pops our entire field, which means they're now down to 0 cards. I mean, all we have done is activate a trap card effect. They do normal summon out the Stratos, and this could have been just very impactful, destroying our whole back row here. But we're going to activate the effect, and we do decide to... How do we negate what? I'm not exactly sure. Oh, we did Valor there, okay. And then we are going to activate the effect of Creation King, summoning with the Anguish, which can then activate the effect of Search. They do activate a Fusion Destiny, and we do decide to chain the Desiree to that, making sure we negate it. That's one of the cards we wanted to negate. They left 1 card in the hand, and it is that second increase. So we see Memento end up taking game 2 here. I mean, yeah. Honestly, having so many different layers of interruption, and like using the trap card first so we can't get Talents, well, Talents like was always kind of a good card in the hero deck. You know, it's kind of important to note, like, if, you know, we have to wait to the end, like, to the end, and like the Desiree just has to negate something that we are going to threaten our board, and like the Fusion Destiny doesn't necessarily threaten our board, but it actually does so much for the hero player. Just negating it, allowing that last card in the hand to be something like doesn't really matter. We have the SP, we have the Creation King to pop numerous stuff. No matter what it is, we're going to be still in a pretty good position. You know, if it is evenly matched, if it's something like that, we can just actually tag it with SP, destroying our cards, whatever you really want to. But it is important to note that if you do destroy the evenly matched, you actually have to banish everything that's left on your field. There'll be 0 cards there, which means you have to kind of banish, which definitely is a very problematic card for us. We are going to be deciding on to go into game 3 here, and we could see potentially a hero lock being dropped on us. You know, if we do get the level 1 hero out, that's going to be very problematic. Not only due to us not being able to activate spell cards, but also having the fact that we have a monster on the field means that we no longer have access to the Tatsunoo Shigu to summon itself out. So we do lose one of our starters as well, which is kind of unfortunate, but hopefully we just don't get to see that there. We are going to be diving into game number 3 here. They're going to start off with a Hero Liz, paying half their life points, and we do decide to chain a Mulcharming Full Rose to this, and then we say anything in response. I say nothing. We chain another one to that. So now we're going to be drawing 2 cards off this Stratos summon, and if you guys don't know, heroes summon from the deck quite a bit here. So here we're going to see the, we're explaining how the Full Rose works. We draw 2 cards before they end up activating the effect. So we do draw, and then that's going to resolve here. We're not going to negate the Stratos. When we're going to be drawing multiple cards in our turn, we don't want to just shotgun these hand traps, you know, unless we have like multiple Veilers in the hand or stuff like that, or multiple Imperms. We're going to go for the Ferris, discarding the Mali here, and that's going to summon itself out. And like once again, like, you know, you have to choose what kind of end board you want to go for. We're going to go for Increase, summon out, and then we're summoning from the deck once again, drawing 2 cards. Whenever we activate Mali, we're going to draw 2 cards once again. And so we're just going plus infinite here. And at this point, like, it really depends what we have in our deck. You know, what you sided in, and then what you're going to be seeing. You're going to be seeing most of your deck here. Like, I believe we see like 20 cards. So we're going to go for the Banish, search for a Polymerization. And then we're going to go into their extra deck. So we end up searching, as long as they summon out 10 times, which they're going to be doing here, where we're starting, like, going 20 deep in our deck, alongside the 5 cards that we already have. So it's really not that often that, like, it's not that hard to see. So if we have a Nibiru in our deck, or we have like Ashes, Veilers, and stuff like that, we are going to be using it here. And we go for Cross Crusader, summoning itself back out, and this is like here when the battery dies on the GoPro. So we are going to change the GoPro here, the battery there, for you guys. But yeah, so essentially what I was trying to say is, like, as long as they summon out even like 5 times, you know, we already have seen 2. This is the second, yeah. But like they have the Mali for the 3rd, the Polymerization going up for the 4th, and then like that's going to be like very easy for us to go 10 cards deep into our deck alongside the 5. So like we're going to be seeing most likely Nibiru's being dropped, those Ashes, those Veilers. No matter what hand traps you end up seeing, you actually can cut down on the hand traps for more like different hand traps if you want to. to even just be able to like kind of plus that way by even like destroy the field no matter what, like with those Druid Storms and stuff like that we're going to be seeing. So we're going to be going for this, and the Crosshair is going to be destroying the Mali to search their deck here, not to summon, which is quite nice for them. We do search for the Elemental Hero Neos, and like you kind of have to go in. Like at this point, it's like, do you want to just like pass your turn on absolutely nothing, or do you want to kind of continue to go up? So we do go for the Stratos up into a Plasma, and we take a second to read Plasma. I wanted to make sure that this was not activated cards in the field. It's just like the cards that are on the field already. So it does get hit in Nibiru, which is all that I care about at this point. So we're going to go up into the Wonder Driver here, trying to get an additional draw again. We're going to now go for Mali, getting another 2 draws. You know, crazy, we go 4 in like instantly. We're going to deny our summon itself out, put back the Mali into our deck. Then we're going to go Polymerization up into a DPE. And then we are getting a board where we're just drawing multiple cards. And we're going to be seeing then the Wonder Driver end up setting the Polymerization in this beautiful alt art that we mentioned before. And then we are going to go Poly into the Rage there. And we do activate the Imperm on this. So the reason why we choose to Imperm is because we're going to set the Trap. And the Trap lets them play during our turn. And we want to minimize as many interactions as possible during our turn. So they ask how many cards we have in the hand, and then we reveal all of them. They say, okay, well, I've already gone so far. I might as well go further here, making my end board, you know, by summoning out a Plasma. What's 2 more draws, essentially, right? So they go for the Plasma there, and then they do opt to go Miracle Fusion, and we decide to think about if we want to chain a Bestial here. But like, we have so many cards in our hand. Again, the other one set, so we let them go for the Miracle Fusion here. We don't really care. They go for a Wake Up Your Elemental Hero. And then we go anything here. They're going to chain Nibiru here. And then we chain the DPE. We decide to then chain a Veiler to that, negating the DPE. And then I say, like, well, just one sec. I have another chain I want to activate here. Because I have the Druid Storm in the hand. So this is going to allow us maybe to send the token to the graveyard, which is kind of important to note. That, like, I'm just trying to choose what I want to hit. So, like, I'm thinking about this. I could opt to save it for the DPE in the graveyard, but it can't activate the effect as well as they're not going to have any bodies. They're going to be left with 1 face down card, and it's going to be quite easy clean for us that way. So we're going to target the Denier there, just making so that it never comes back out. And then we're going to be sending it to the graveyard here, and I send the token to the graveyard because the Jerusalem gets sent to the graveyard itself on the new chain. So now they're left with absolutely no cards. They have just a Mali in the graveyard here. And they do opt to activate the Mali effect, just going to try to give us 2 more draws. And at this point, I have kept Ash in my hand the entire time, so I do just decide to Ash this. Just because I'm going to have to return cards to the deck anyways. And so, like, we have so many cards. We have to keep 7 of them, which is kind of crazy, because there's cards that control +1, or +6, I should say. So we're going to be starting out the turn with 8 cards in our hand, and I'm going to be honest with you, these cards are stacked. Like, no matter what they end up choosing, it's going to be pretty great for us. You know, we have Cosmics in our hand, we have a Duster, we have Bone Parties. You guys can actually see everything that we had in the hand if you guys want to check out the POV version of this as well. It just explains to you guys exactly what we're doing in the game, and being able to interact with you guys. It's like the actual experience that Locals does provide to you guys, which is why I like doing it. I think this is obviously very good, like I mentioned before, about how like you can just watch the stuff, but having the actual experience, like, you know, through my eyes. I have a GoPro on my forehead. It looks absolutely ridiculous, but it gets you guys content, which people do seem to enjoy. And so then we end up putting it back. We have 7 cards left, and then we draw off our turn here. And we have a Duster still in the hand. So we go Duster, removing the back row, and it's just an Imperm there. And they just admit defeat, realizing it's going to be gone. So we have the Moan Party and the Fusion, as well as Ash for whatever else. And we see Memento end up taking the win. With that Full Roast here, this card is absolutely busted. The power of Full Roast is unreal. Honestly, you don't have Ash or some way to interrupt with it. It's like this card is like a problem, which is pretty crazy how like it single-handedly just ended up winning game 3 there. But regardless, hope you're watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, have some more content like this. Stay safe. Peace.